この国の未来を切り開くことはできない。
あの怪物の生態は未知のことが多すぎてる。
あいつの未来を守ってやりたい。
Trinidad the Islandman, your Islandman, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, this is Trinidad the Islandman, your Islandman, and tonight, opening night of Godzilla Minus One. I went ahead and I saw it, and well, without further ado, remember our rating scale, shock a thumbs up, it's good to see, I recommend it. Shock a thumbs down, it's junk, I don't recommend it. And for Godzilla Minus One, basically the retelling of the old 1950s first ever sighting of Godzilla attacking Japan. It is overall a shock a thumbs up. This movie, from the audience at the end, received applause, and it was pretty well packed. I've been to a lot of movies over the last couple of days, and this is the only one where the theater was nearly filled. And the special effects look incredible. Apparently done on a little bit of a shoestring budget. I think 40 million maybe at the most, and they look spectacular. Basically, again, it is the retelling of that classic Raymond Burr, yes, Perry Mason himself, tale of the very first Godzilla attack on Japan. Of course, now this is all from the Japanese perspective. There is no Raymond Burr-like character. That was strictly for American audiences back, in the 70s. Or 60s when the original Godzilla was first made. But essentially it is that same tale. And actually it starts a little earlier at the close of World War II. There's actually a sighting of Godzilla as he destroys a Japanese airfield. And pretty much most of, the Japanese soldiers who are defending it. One survives, one airman, who we follow pretty much throughout the rest of the movie. Through Japan's, after Japan's surrender, the end of the war, as Japan is trying to come back up into its own, still with the United States, pretty much dictating all the terms to it through 1947 through almost 1950. The then Godzilla, who was about the size of what we saw in King Kong on Skull Island at the time, destroyed this airfield. Now with the Bikini Atoll, nuclear bomb testing, apparently that radiation caused Godzilla to grow even greater, and thus begin his devastation of Japan as he marches towards Tokyo to destroy, the country almost. We get a lot of destruction, very, very similar to, this is probably the best that I'd seen from any Godzilla movie, and that was even commented by some of the other audience members. It felt very much like Pacific Rim when you felt, the world at stake, these kaijus just going around destroying the cities with nothing humanity could do. And eventually they made the Jaegers for that movie, but there are no Jaegers, especially at this technology level, of 1950s Japan. But essentially it follows the same as the original scenario, where a scientist, Japanese scientist, creates a device that is able to stop Godzilla, but it doesn't, it's still not enough. It still needs something extra, which the former pilot comes into play to, add assistance to, in addition to the destroyers sent with this new weapon designed by the scientist. Gone, it feels, is the, is the likening to, parable for nuclear war and, the hazards of nuclear war. And instead it embraces more of a call to duty, a call for action, a call for citizens to support their government and almost to take matters into their own hands, as the Japanese people in this movie show that their government has been ineffective at, succeeding in the war of World War II, ineffective at defending them against Godzilla. And so basically the self-defense force is a group of citizens, assisted by, the military, what's left of the military of Japan, without being really a military, because they can't have a military because the Soviet-US tensions in the regions, etc. Playing more upon, the feelings of nationalism, patriotism. Not so much nationalism has a dirty ring to it now, especially surrounding the the January 6th shenanigans, thanks to Trump. But more of a patriotic, defend our country kind of a thing. It kind of skirts that line. It's kind of, which is what Japan is trying to do with reinstilling and reinvigorating its own military to take a more active role instead of just self-defense of its country, with the rising threats of China and North Korea, not to mention, again, the Soviets. Wow, the Russians. So there we have it, kind of a new retelling, a new call to arms almost for the Japanese people, in this case against Godzilla, but who's now can be associated with rising threats of China or North Korea, or even Russia, like I said, other forces in the region, and basically to come defend itself once again. That's how I felt it. The story, the moral of the story is that. But still, it does not take away of how powerful this story is between two people, and their ineffectiveness, like portraying, symbolizing the country against the threat of Godzilla, something so unstoppable, a force of nature. Alright, so again, Godzilla Minus One, shaka thumbs up. Go see it, however, whenever you can at the theater. Hopefully it'll hit streaming one of these days, but check it out at the theater and you won't be disappointed. This is the best movie this season so far. Alright, mahalo and